Following Crossfire on 95.1 Nigeria Info.
6:20 a.m. It's time to get into what the newspaper headlines are saying for today, the 24th day in the month of April 2025.
Hot and fresh off the press, these are the front pages.
You know, this headlines is published by those media houses and have nothing to do with Nigeria Info. Today we're going to be taking a look at the front pages of the Punch newspapers, the Guardian newspapers, the Nation newspapers, and the Vanguard newspapers. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja, so you can watch us either on Facebook or on YouTube. Let's get started with the front page of the Punch newspapers. A cover story here says 2027 power shift. Opposition weakens as more PDP governors, senators eye APC. Similar story to that, Delta Governor Okowa, Osun Jigawa PDP chieftains, others defect to APC. INEC moves to legalize voting without PVC. Killings, Tinubu demands fresh security blueprint from intelligence chiefs. FG grants waivers to Dangote, Mekano, 103 others. Lagos LG chair aspirants withdraws for Obasa's son. And finally, on the front page of the Punch newspapers, U.S. indicts Nigerian for $690,000 scam, false citizenship claim. Details of these and more you'd find on the front page of the Punch newspapers. Moving on now to the front page of the Guardian. A cover story here says, hurdles for opposition parties as APC wins more governors and others. Interesting times to live in, wouldn't you agree? ECOWAS to relocate institutions from Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. On insecurity, Tinubu security chiefs in talks. 36 governors discuss crisis in Abuja. We've been unfairly blamed for insecurity in Imo, IPOB laments. Lagos has shortfall of 66,000 doctors, nurses, says government. Reps say 1,723 vessels engage in sharp practices on Nigerian waters. 10 billion naira Aso Rock solar project and admission of power sector failure, says Horiwa. And finally, on the front page of the Guardian newspapers, President won't allow Akpabio to step aside, says senators. These and many more you'd find on the Guardian newspapers today. A quick stop at the front page of the Nation. A cover story here says Delta State Governor Okowa defects to APC with entire Delta PDP. That's the current governor. The former governor, Senator Okowa, defects to the APC with the entire Delta PDP. You'll find details of that story on the front page of the Nation newspapers. Take out terrorists. President orders security chiefs. Thousands pay tributes at Pope Francis's body's public viewing. Thousands pay tributes at Pope Francis's body's public viewing. How Nigeria's reforms are faring by Erdun and Cardoso. Lagos bans expectant mothers from Hajj. And finally, federal government releases 50 billion naira to varsity unions as earned allowances. These and many more you'd find on the front page of the Nation newspapers. A quick stop at the final dailies for today. The Vanguard, the cover story here says, 2027, Tinubu tightens grip on Southeast, South-South in gale of defections. Anti-party activities, Atiku, Wike should leave PDP immediately, says Bode George. Your reforms inflict hunger, poverty on masses, NLC tells IMF delegation. Council chairman escapes bandits' attack in Sokoto village. And finally, on the Vanguard newspapers, Delta State Governor will be fully accommodated, says the APC. We'll take a very quick break for the commercials, and when we get back, it'll be time for your reactions. Don't go away.
The world is changing and opportunities are everywhere. The question is, are you ready to seize them? For far too long, we have been conditioned to think within the constraints of geographical borders created by man. An example is
Connection established.
Audio Jungle.
(30137). We're having technical issues with our phone line, so if you cannot reach us via the phone lines, please do well to reach us via WhatsApp. You can call the WhatsApp number. You can also send a voice note on WhatsApp, or you can send a message on WhatsApp. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Angel Gabriella.
You're welcome.
My name is Salasi.
Welcome, Salasi. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the insecurity. A council chairman escaped terrorist attacks or bandit attack in Sokoto. That is all that we are saying. So we are urging them to do the needful when it comes to this insecurity. For the people decamping to APC, I remember an interview with Ayo Fayoshe says All these people are trying to protect themselves, most especially these first tenure governors. He said more of them will join APC. So it's left for the masses to decide whether they will continue with the APC. If they enjoy the government, if everything is normal, so be it. When you go to the market, they don't know APC, they don't know PDP, they don't know Muslim, they don't know Christian. We are all into it together. So God will help us now. Good day.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Pastor CJ calling from Dubai.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to talk about all this defection in Nigeria. I want to tell in Nigeria that, to be honest with you, with this kind of system of government we run in Nigeria and this present electoral system, nobody will stop Tinubu. All these governments are defending to APC. It's like they have brought them over. That is why I'm calling on all Nigeria to be National Assembly will protest until they reform our electoral system and then give us a credible and a very trustworthy electoral system that will be able to elect our own leader, not the one that imposed on us. If not, I can tell you, nobody will stop Tinubu in 2027. He has perfected all his arrangements and his work. Nigeria should deceive National Assembly now with protest until they do the needful and give us
will
a
that
credible
bring about any
process.
results, Pastor TJ?
That is only hope we have now. All these old cargoes, old politicians, they have pocketed Nigeria. They have paid Nigeria. That is the only hope we have now. I'm telling you. Because no option. 2027 is sure for Tinubu. It's sure.
All right.
No hope. That's the only hope we have now. So that is my take. Let me use the opportunity to wish my mother later happy birthday. My mother clocked 83 yesterday. I want to wish her a happy birthday. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My regard to all our father. Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. God bless you. Have a wonderful celebration.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Let's get to you now on our Facebook live feed. We're streaming live at Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook and same on YouTube. Clems on Facebook says Nigeria is now turning into a one-party system. Will that therefore mean no more democracy? May God help us, is what he says. Ogechi Ariwa says, good morning, Gabriella. I'm watching live for the first time. Welcome, Ogechi. Where are you watching us live from? Let me know. Innocent Wisdom says is watching live from Gwagwalada. Thank you for joining us live on here. Okwando Obina says, good morning. The reckless and self-seeking defection going on here and there is not for the interest of Nigerians, but for that of politicians who have used various means to conquer the people, loot their resources, and left the nation in comatose. Tilting the nation in comatose. Tilting our democracy to a one-party state is dangerous for business, as the sweetness of democracy lies on viable opposition. So my guest and I, at the 8 o'clock hour yesterday, I had a guest who joined me have this conversation about Kwankwaso having talks with the president on a possible defection to the APC, and we actually touched on the possibility of a one-party system. I remember asking Solomon Ndahi about the possibility of a one-party system, because right now it looks as though we are headed in that direction of a one-party system. If that's where we are headed, where we see a slide, at the 2027 general elections, what then will that imply for how democracy or governance is played in Nigeria? Opposition has always been a very solid voice and a force in the country for as long as Nigeria has enjoyed democratic rule. Opposition has always been a force. I mean, we've seen several examples in several cases where, opposition parties called out and made a stand against all sorts. I remember when the subsidy, where Goodluck Jonathan's era, in his era, the subsidy was considered to be removed. I mean, the president at the time, Goodluck Jonathan, was considering removing subsidy, and the opposition party spoke out so fiercely. You know the party I'm talking about. You know the person I'm talking about. Don't wait for me to say it. Spoke out so fiercely, and that decision was, decided against. We've seen several cases even before then. In the time of the former president Olusegun Obasanjo and the vice Atiku Abubakar, we saw how strongly opposition voices were in that time. So opposition has always played a very big critical role in democratic rule in Nigeria. If we find ourselves tilting in the direction of a one-party system, where would that leave that? Where then would people have... I'm just thinking about the possible outcomes. Will people still have the chance, the opportunity, the freedom, the right to speak up against government if we actually tilt to a one-party system? Questions. Good morning. Are you there? Okay. You are going to have to call me back when you are ready. Let's take some more of your comments on Facebook. Also, Francis Nnamani, watching us live from Amagunze in Enugu State, says, thank God it's another Throwback Thursday. The government should tackle insecurity with every sense of seriousness and avoid playing politics with it. All right. Thank you so much for that. Good morning.
Good morning, Angel Gabriella. My name is Emeka Warimpa. You are saying Nigeria is tilting towards when Nigeria is ready, declare the one-party system. Can you now beat your chest firmly and peg your 2 feet on the ground and say we have opposition? Because PDP is as good as dead. Labour Party is as good as disintegrated. So which other party are you talking about now? Before the next year, more people will defect from PDP to APC. More lawmakers will defect. Some are perfected plans. Now that Delta Governor and Okowa is defected, carrying all the structure, PDP structure, and put it to APC. You know one thing? The truth is that the fear of EFCC is one of the things that is made, because remember that Okowa has a strong case of 1.3 trillion on his neck, and now that he has defected, this thing will be quite. I can tell you that nothing. This case is as good as he's dead. In the EFCC, he's dead. Of course.
So are you trying to say that they're being coerced to join the party just to protect themselves?
50% of them are being coerced. Don't be surprised if tomorrow or before the expiration of state of emergency, Fubara defects. Don't be surprised. Because it is possible, it is getting towards that.
I mean, if there's
they're already discussing
in the River State,
secretly.
Don't you think there will be the FCT minister before?
No, this is politics. This is politics. Fubara can defect. Wike can also as well defect. Remember that Fubara had meeting with allegedly had meeting with the president in London last week. You don't know what they discussed. This is towards 2027. So more people are. I'm just pleading to Nigerians. Let 2027 be between this, because it's now between APC and Nigerians, not APC with any party, because it is APC all the way. So Nigerians is now the one that is left. Though there is no independent candidate, it's like I said before the other day in your show, that there's no independent candidacy. But they can't allow independent candidacy because they know what it will do to them, the APC. So it's between Nigeria and APC. Nigerians can say enough is enough by voting another unknown. Remember the Labour Party put a surprise, but I don't know if there's another party, because as it is now, Labour Party is tripartite. I can go on. Let me just allow others to speak. Thank you.
Thank you for calling and sharing your thoughts. Interesting times we live in. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, the angel of duty on duty, Angel Gabriella. I greet you this morning. Thank you so much. I remain my humble self. Motayo, wishing you from Galadima this morning. All protocols duly observed. I greet all the caller and the listeners of this radio station. I greet the last caller. You see, very quickly, ma, what kind of leadership, what kind of democracy would you or anybody listening to me now define the democracy that we claim we practice in Nigeria, where clearly everything is tending towards darkness. And then we still look for, some of us still look for ways to define it so that it still looks like something in the light. Angel Gabriella, we are wasting our time in this country. As long as we continue to fold our hands and watch the way this thing is playing out. One statement yesterday on one of your sister stations said we are heading towards what's it called? What did he call it? War. A social war. How did he call it? Look, man. If don't take, we are not careful, if we continue to fold our arms and watch what is playing out in this country, I tell you, the next civil war is just around our nose here. Right. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Look, this is abnormal. And you know, each time I call you, I tell you I'm expecting more of these kind of things. More of what? More of the worsening situation. And that is war. Look, these guys are more particular, they are more concerned about election and not protection of the people and properties and the lives of people that voted them in the first place. Do you see what I'm telling you? Their attention is shifted to politics, how to remain in power. But you die in numbers, people die in numbers, and things are properties, people can't even live in their ancestral land. It's not their concern. And then you tell me such leaders are there for you, they are there to represent you. How? I've told you before, and let me round up by saying, Nigeria's number one problem is greed, and our second problem is lack of integrity of our leaders. That's all. If you look into these two things I've mentioned, you discover that all our problem is crowned and covered in this same particular two things: greed and lack of integrity. That's what our leaders lack. 2027, God help us, if we don't rise up and face it properly, these guys will just declare themselves winner and there's nothing we'll do about it. Thank you so much, my dear sister.
All right. Thank you as well for sharing your thoughts. Let's get to some of your voice notes now. You can keep your messages coming through on WhatsApp 080-999-30137. We'll just quickly listen to some of your voice notes and then we'll get to your messages on the live feed on YouTube. Good morning to you, Hafsat Wazu. You're watching us live on YouTube. All right, let's quickly listen to some of your voice notes. Good morning.
Good morning, Angel Gabriella. My name is Muazu John Lasisi from Jigo, Buhari, Abuja. So, presidency want to install solar in the villa. That means we should not even expect light in our home again. If president cannot depend on their own power generation and they want to go on solar, that means Nigeria is in trouble. So let me go and service my generator and buy a bigger tank for refueling. I think that is the option now. Thank you.
I mean, we talked about this yesterday when it was on the headlines, a major headline, and I don't think I want to go over, overflowing it again. But just to reiterate, the federal government actually stated that decision was a move to help unburden the national grid so that, if the presidential villa is removed from the national grid, Nigeria has a bit more supply to distribute across the country. So that it eventually probably means that you would actually get more power supply, if that happens. I'm just saying. All right, let's hear from you now.
Good morning, Angel Gabriella. Good morning, Nigeria Info. Good morning, Nigeria. My name is Shehu Mohammed and I'm recording from Jahabi. I want to talk about the headline that say INEC is proposing to conduct election without PVC. I think I will be the greatest IPS person on earth if that dream comes true, because number one, you can, if that it's possible, you can vote from anywhere you have. And I think I will be very happy. I think Nigeria, we should support INEC in this idea. I don't know how they are going to do it, but whichever way they do it, if you cannot vote with your PVC, that means there will be an identification, maybe number or whatever. I think technology, using the technology to vote, I think that is the best way to go.
Look, when I saw that, I was just waiting for someone to react to that because, I mean, in as much as, you know, it's like you were saying, you can vote from anywhere. Do you really understand the implications of that? I mean, there are several areas that you may want to raise eyebrows of concern as to, you know, if you can now vote without your PVC, what are the areas or what ways will the INEC ensure that you're not having people who are underaged 18 voting? We're not having people who are citizens of Nigeria vote. We've had those concerns in previous elections where, you know, some people who were not Nigerians, those who were underaged, were seen to be casting their votes in some parts of the country at some polling units. And so these are concerns that I think the INEC would want to address if they would want to put forward or go forward with that decision to, you know, allow for people to vote without the PVCs. All right, let's take a little bit more of your voice notes and then we get to your messages. Good morning.
Hello, my name is Kenneth Wosu calling from Gwarimpa. I have two things to say about this present administration or government. You see, Delta State governor and his entourage defecting to APC. In fact, by the special grace of God, we are going to vote them out and look for a new party because APC is not a good party. It's a party that put us into hungry. And secondly, the president said they should go. They should make sure they clear out the people that is causing mayhem in this country. Those ones that have caused the mayhem, why can't they trace them and ask them what happened, or trace them and kill them instead of?
Okay.
Good morning,
when you're sending
Gabby.
in your messages, please take it easy because again, you are on radio with your suggestions and opinions.
Our station.